Okay, David John Walter, Petition of Right, Part 3. Alright, so it's gonna start from page 20. I think I finished page 20 last time. Anyway, it's about the Statutory Revision Act 1973. Because as of 1973, all the acts and legislations are statutory law. So you can go back to the Statutory Revision Act 1973. Okay, that goes back to the Queen of Australia. Now, so I'm going to go through 10 pages, okay? Basically, the legal tender before 14th of February 1966, it was patch tailing and pence, okay? So you can see here the £1, okay? And that was the legal tender. Okay, so they seized it in 13th of February 1966. Okay, so this is about the legal tender. We got the Statutory Revision Act 1973. Now this is very important when we start talking about what's happened in 19th of October 1973. Queen of Australia, which is just a simple private corporation without authority, no royal coat of arms, no royal assent, no authority, no contract. Now, so the money was actually, so till 13th of February 1966, the pound sterling in pounds, it had back, actually, the value was held in gold and silver. Okay, so if you the issue and circulation pound note and notes, any other determination, there is a fact enough gold and silver in the Royal Treasury to cover those monetary value on the notes legal tender. Now that was still 13th of February 1966. But in 14th of February 1966, when they introduced the Australian decimal currency, which is a fiat currency, it's not actually backed by gold and silver. Okay. Now they introduced the de facto Australian government as of 14th of February 1966. Okay, then in 14th February 1966, the Governor General, holding the latest patent constituting the office of Governor General, 29th of October, UK, could not sign or issue any writs for any election to allow private people, members of registered political parties inside the deeds, the constitution of the registered political parties, to take up any position in the Parliament of the company and elected sworn representative of the shareholder, which also include the Senate, under the Great Seal of the Commonwealth of Australia. Okay, so this is in page number 22. Now, they introduced the Currency Act 1965, which was reprinted by the Statutory Revision Act 1973, which holds no seal on its right and is no more documents with writing only. Now, it was E.J. Whitlam, right, who basically created the royal warrant and, you know, fraud on top of fraud. Then it goes back to Queen of Australia, which is just a private corporation, no authority, no contract, no royal assent. They introduced the Australian decimal currency 7 years before. 1973 created the Queen of Australia without authority. Then I refer to the financial agreement 1966, Elizabeth II housing the Royal Style and Titles Act 1973, is not the defender of the faith for the people who are members of the Anglican Church worldwide. So we should be under the English common law. Now here we go, my favorite one. So here we go, the privately elected members of the unicameral Parliament of Australia. The Prime Minister and the Treasury in 1999 sold 187 tonnes of gold from the Royal Australian Mint of the Commonwealth Treasury, of which Your Majesty the Queen holds the key to the Treasury. So, in 19th of October 1973, when Queen Elizabeth was here, she signed about the seal, so there's no contract under the seal. And that's what's happening 19th of October. They introduced the Queen of Australia, which is a foreign corporation. Now, there's talks about the EBN. Again, goes back to the Royal Style and Titles Act 1973, Unicameral Parliament of Australia. Not being of the Commonwealth of Australia. Yeah, we're talking about Unicameral Parliament of Australia. Again, the de facto Australian government introduced 14th of February 1966. Australian decimal currency introduced in 14th of February 1966. Metric measurements introduced in 14th of February 1966, without all people's referendum. Treason, treason, treason. All right. So, Royal Stalin Titles Act 1973. Elizabeth II, the Grace of God, Queen of Australia. Who is Queen of Australia and what is Queen of Australia? It's a foreign corporation. Then we talk about the Statutory Revision Act after 1973. Basically, all the acts and legislations are statutory laws and apply only for the statutes. Okay, Elizabeth II, Queen of Australia, and other realms. A private Australian currency of the firm. Firm being private international trading corporation, trading in real personal property, only to make profit for the firm. Australian government who all accounts paid in firm in Australian currency and all employees or agents to the firm in Australian currency are holding private contracts on the public seal of the firm commencing 14th of February 1966. So, as the holder of the crown to behold the imperial seals and the common law of England, Your Majesty the Queen, even unto death, must protect the people, the faithful. Okay, now here, another one. The preamble of the Statutes of Westminster in 1931 that would be in accord with the established constitutional position of all members of the British Commonwealth of Nations in relation to one another and relation in the law touching the Royal Stalin titles. So read it through. It's just basically, I'm going through the most important points. 1953, the Royal Stalin Titles Act, where is contract under the seal. This is the Royal Stalin Titles Act 1953. When Queen Elizabeth signed under the seal, so there is a contract under the seal. The 1973 was signed above the seal, so there is no contract under the seal, which is this one, the 1973. So when you do your petition of right, you're falling under the 1953 Royal Stalin Titles Act. Then you got the Partnership Agreement 1890. Further coronation of oath sworn to God, himself the holder of the common law, then you must uphold without consideration. So there is contract under the seal with the people of the Commonwealth of Australia. So under the Partnership Act 1890, Royal Stalin Titles Act 1953, and the Constitution, you are, when you do your petition of right, you become a British subject. Okay, now the British subject. So then here we go, 1974. So this is the Governor General Act 1974. This is only a statutory law again. It's only applied to the statutes and not for the living woman or the living man. The Governor General Act 1974, number 1697, did not create any private provision for any private Australian Governor General to be sworn and personally appointed by Your Majesty the Queen and the holder of the letter patent, Constitution, the Office of the Governor General, 29 October, UK. Okay, so it's a statutory law, 1974. This is the private seal. There's no contract under the seal for the people. Okay, so that's a private seal. It's a private corporation seal. And every member of the political parties of the Australian government is holding signed person-to-person contract under the seal and holding signed de facto relationship with each other and conduct a private Australian business from inside the private corporation, on private corporation headquarters, Parliament House of Australia in Canberra. Okay? So they are operating under their private corporation. They are a private corporation. They are the de facto Australian government. They got their own private seal. There is no contract under the seal. So this is page 30. Okay, I will be back soon with part number 4. All right, so this is the main parts that you need to comprehend and read, and that you know what is the David John Walter Petition of Right. Okay,